are obstructing your roadway. You will be cited. Please move out of the way.
Tempers ran hot as protesters tried to keep busloads of undocumented immigrants out of the Murrieta Border Patrol station and out of their community.
Return the sender!
I haven't been gainfully employed. I started raising reptiles to put food on my table. And how are we going to feed these kids? You know, hundreds of thousands, supposedly, and I can't even feed my 4 kids. I mean, it's a bitter pill to swallow.
New pictures show just how packed Border Patrol facilities in Texas have become after a continuing surge of immigrant families and unaccompanied children flee Central America. Around 9 a.m., 136 immigrants were flown from McAllen International Airport to Lindbergh Field to ease up the overcrowding. They're mostly adults with young children, and they were loaded up on 3 buses and driven to Murrieta for processing. The Department of Homeland Security selected the station along with a handful of others because it's inland and will divert fewer resources from the border. As these buses arrive, they're being met by angry protesters, throngs of people blocking the streets, not letting the buses through. At times, protesters clashed with counter-protesters who came to support the migrants.
I think that this is going to be the Rosa Parks moment for immigration, when they realize that these are children that, through no fault of their own, are living in a very dangerous situation. If they don't leave, they're going to be killed by the drug gangs, the organized crime.
After a 30-minute stalemate, the buses eventually turned around and headed towards the freeway.
This is wrong!
But for these demonstrators, it doesn't stop there.
Humanely and kindly repatriate these individuals to their home countries where they're citizens, because we need to take care of our own children.
In Murrieta, Derek Stahl, San Diego 6 News.
Homicide detectives have been on the scene most of the day. Carlos Correa is live in the western part of the lake with the very latest. Carlos.
Hey, good afternoon to you. Homicide detectives just wrapped up their investigation here. Over my shoulder, just a few yards away, is where that human skull was found this morning. Investigators say it may be linked to the unsolved death of a woman. Not too long ago, homicide detectives placed that human skull inside a brown bag, and only CW6 was there to capture this video. That's what you're seeing right now. Deputies say a group of conservationists were out here working this morning when they came across that skull. After hours of investigating, authorities confirmed it was in fact the skull of a human. Lieutenant Kent Nelson tells us last October, around this same area, partial human remains were found. Detectives identified those bones belonging to 29-year-old Marisol Lopez, whose death remains a mystery. Detectives believe the skull they found today belongs to Lopez. It was found about 100 yards from the water's edge.
After the remains were found last year, we did bring out Sheriff's Search and Rescue along with the Sheriff's Dive Team, and we're checking the area. We weren't able to find any other remains at that time.
Detectives say if this skull belongs to Marisol Lopez, the medical examiner may be able to determine the cause of her death. Now, for most of the day, deputies had a large part of this area surrounded with police tape, and all of that has been taken down, and that skull is now being taken to the medical examiner's office. Reporting live, Carlos Correa, CW6 News.
If you have driven along the 78 near San Pasqual Road anytime since February, you may have noticed 22 white crosses on a hill.
So why are they there, and what do they stand for? CW6's Nancy Aziz found out.
I wish I didn't have to do it. I wish that there wasn't a necessity to talk about it. It breaks my heart.
Mark Linshield wants people to notice his monument on the hill because he says too many people don't see the problem it represents.
22 a day, 737 a week of people just literally taking their own life. This is supposed to be the best country in the world. Why are so many people dying to get out of it?
With his own hands, he crafted 22 crosses, carefully aligning them in neat rows. 22 crosses for the 22 military vets who commit suicide every day.
For me, this was nothing. My contribution here to get people talking about it, to get people recognizing it, was little compared to these people die.
Flags of each branch of the service fly at the monument's edge, and atop each cross, Linshield placed a light. So even at night, the monument's visible, shining light on the dark reality of veteran suicide.
There's a lot of things we can do, but it all starts with talking. It all starts with recognizing that there's a problem. If you see somebody in distress, tell them, I don't know exactly what to do, but I love you, I care about you, and I'm here. Tell me what I can do. It's a beautiful day, isn't it?
Linshield's lost veterans to suicide. He's also battled depression himself, but he's finding his own healing here.
Every few nights, I look it over. It's really tranquil, and when it's lit up, it's peaceful. You can think a lot.
He just hopes his monument will get other people thinking of how they can help veterans too.
When you drive past this corner, or you see a military, or you read about a suicide in the newspaper, or you hear about get involved, your voice matters.
In San Pasqual Valley, Nancy Aziz, CW6 News.
242, John, do you show me tonight?
Work goes on at police departments around the country today. Crime not stopping because officers hurt.
And our prayers definitely go out to their family members, but we understand that it's something that we signed up for, to face the dangers in society so that other people don't have to face them.
At Chula Vista PD, flags fly at half staff. Some officers are wearing bereavement bands, a visible sign of support for the officers who died.
Every officer feels just incredibly bad when they hear another officer falls on the line of duty. And of course, you know you can always give us a call if you need any help with anything. You know that, Kevin, right?
Chula Vista officer Michael St. Clair says he's just as committed to protecting the community now as ever, but says the shooting has him and other officers on alert.
A lot of officers are on the lookout a little bit more cautious when it comes time to, driving around, or a car pulls up next to us. We definitely look at them probably more than we do normally, just for our own safety.
But amid the concerns, there are so many signs of support from the community. People saying thank you, sending flowers and food.
It really is touching to the heart that I know people are still supportive of police officers. I pulled you over today because I noticed one of your brake lights was out.
St. Clair says he hopes good will somehow come from the Dallas tragedy and the events leading up to it, that both sides can again learn to trust.
We are an entity that's held to a higher standard than anyone else, and we need to be held to a higher standard. So I understand the emotion that's out there right now. I definitely do. But all I can ask is that people just continue to view us as individuals and understand that we're working to try and make it better, make the police department a better environment. I don't want to hold you up too much longer. Okay, I'm not going to give you a ticket today.
Sunday started badly for the Charger fans, finished worse for the NFL team. Owner Dean Spanos told CBS, "I'm leaning towards going to Los Angeles." Then as much as 80% of the stadium showed up wearing Raider colors. Quarterback Phillip Rivers called it a road game. The Chargers defense put up a valiant fight, but it ended as a Raiders 19-16 win. Rivers hooked up on a 47-yard TD pass to Travis Benjamin to start the day, but the Raiders dominated much of the afternoon. San Diego's defense, with its backs to the wall, snuffed out drives at the 6, the 3, and the 1. One on a Kyle Emanuel fumble recovery, the other on a Trovon Reed goal line interception. But the Raiders outgained the Bolts 134-4 through much of the opening half. And Oakland got back into it with a Michael Crabtree TD catch right before halftime. Then turnovers and sacks wiped out the effort. Up 16-13 in the fourth quarter, rookie Ken Farrow stripped of the ball on the pile, led to a game-tying field goal. Emanuel made a key third down stop, forcing another field goal, but Oakland had the lead. And then backed up to his own goal line, Rivers took a big sack, then a big hit, and result, Reggie Nelson interception. A visibly upset Mike McCoy saw his team fall to 5-9. Rivers said it was tough to see silver and black everywhere in the stands.
Every loss is tough. Every loss, these guys do so much, and it's tough in this league when you don't win. They work so hard, and that's what we do. This is our profession. So, when these guys fight these tails off and don't get the rewards, it's tough. They deserve to win.
Obviously, it's been two tough seasons. Two of the toughest in my 13 years. Obviously, wins wise. There's a stretch there where we were 8-8 or better for a long time. These last two, it's been tough, and we've had some tough home losses, and obviously there's some other things going on as well.
Carlos Correa is on the road in Kearney Mesa to show us why that number has gone up. Carlos.
Good afternoon. Researchers say smartphones have contributed to the rise in crashes that involve distracted driving, and that includes popular apps such as Instagram, Snapchat, even Facebook. 20-year-old Michelle DHP and other law enforcement agencies issued more than 13,000 citations for distracted driving in the month of April alone. And the first violation, get this, is $160. The second, $280. And if you crash and kill somebody, you could face manslaughter charges, even years in prison. Reporting live, driving around in Kearney Mesa, I'm Carlos Correa, CW6 News.
Carlos Correa live with the list and some alternatives for visitors. Carlos.
Good afternoon to you. If you're a hiker, then you know exactly how warm it can be. Park rangers are making a few changes to help keep people safe during the hottest weeks of the summer. One more closure to pass along to you. Agua Caliente Regional Park near Julian, also closed for August. It will reopen Labor Day weekend. Reporting live, Carlos Correa, CW6 News.
Was at the cleanup site all day long. She's live now from the 800 block of Seagirt Court. What's happening there, Jenny?
Netta, nearly 24 hours later and still a lot of work being done. To give you an idea of where we are, to my right here, right off the main drag, is Mission Boulevard. Then to my left is the bay, and now this alleyway is just flooded with sand and water again. Crews are still here pumping the water and cleaning up what is certainly a mess. You can see the street here even sagging. Of course, a mess for the city and especially those who live in the area. And you can see city crews working on that temporary fix right now. They are filling in that gap so that hopefully this alleyway will be drivable fairly soon. Again, the permanent fix will come in the next 30 days. That's actually when they're going to schedule it. And I have to mention that this water main break actually was replaced fairly recently, so it was not age that caused this. It was the cast iron was replaced with PVC, and the city has actually set a goal to replace all the cast iron pipes by 2023. We're live in Mission Beach. Jenny Day, CW6 News.
Now, the Red Cross has stepped in to help this family. If you would like to help, I will put a link on our website. Already, that GoFundMe page has raised more than $10,000. And one more thing that I would like to mention, at this time, just a few years ago, the mother who lost her daughter today also lost her brother in a car crash just again a few years ago. Tough day here in Escondido. We're live again in Escondido. Jenny Day, CW6 News.
Netta and Jason, this is a really interesting program that's been in the works for several years. It's going to have several parts to it, but one of the most interesting parts of it is it's going to put homeless to work. It's going to pay them minimum wage and have them clean street litter, clean up graffiti, and just come and sweep the sidewalks.
All right, now you just saw the suspected serial killer in those surveillance images, but all that is being said about the suspect so far, who's been striking people on the back of the head, is that he's believed to be on a blue bike wearing dark clothing and a gray backpack. Police did detain 4 people this morning matching that vague description, but all have since been released. That means 2 attackers remain at large this afternoon. For now, we're live downtown. Jenny Day, CW6 News.